This episode of Trash the Script is coming to you from Full Circle Atlanta in West Midtown. For all your vintage goods, your sneakers, all your drip, check out Full Circle Atlanta. What goes around comes around. Welcome to episode 2 of Trash the Script. I'm Sudu, next to Georgia, who was dressed like a leprechaun today. How we doing?
He doesn't know fashion.
It's a
look,
Ritzia.
It's a little matching set.
It's a Ritzia.
I don't look like a leprechaun. That's the first thing he said to me.
You gonna do the Irish jig for us today?
I'll do another dance later, but it's not going to be an Irish jig. We're not starting off on a positive. My mom said to be positive, okay? And that's not very positive.
Shout out Miss Cheryl. Huge fan of her work. Okay. I guess you would be her work. Anyways, yes, welcome in. Welcome back. Episode 2.
We had like almost 50 views. You thought we were going to get like 6.
I said 6. You said 10.
Yeah.
So we weren't that off. That's just on YouTube. I need to go check our Spotify numbers, but really appreciate everybody that checked out the first episode. Friends, family, Full Circle supporters, strangers even. Really appreciate the strangers.
New fans.
Yeah. The new fans. Anybody that sent us words of encouragement and positivity. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. A lot has happened since the last time we recorded, huh?
A week?
Yeah. Well, there was a new pope literally the day after.
Yes. He's American.
He's American. He's really American. He's from Chicago. He's from the south side of Chicago, and he went to school in Philly.
Well, and you were talking about all the memes and stuff like on Twitter. I saw people on Twitter saying, do you think the Pope is embarrassed?
Embarrassed of what?
Just, I don't know. Like, we need to act like, I know we haven't been here before. There hasn't been an American Pope, but we might be embarrassing him with all the memes and stuff.
Oh, I mean, that's what I think the world knows what America is, what Americans, who Americans are, what American culture is. I don't think anybody's surprised. But it is great because the Pope, like, it's just, I just love how they keep discovering stuff about this man that just makes him more Chicago.
Well, did you see like the process for choosing a different Pope was like the draft? Like they had like the slides and they were like 70 years old, like and they'd like walk in.
I remember learning about the papal conclave like in school, but yeah, I guess with like modern social media and sports betting being a thing now, it was pretty incredible how people had all their odds. Not a lot of people had this guy, Robert Prevost, Pope Leo, His Holiness, as the guy. But once again, I just love like seeing these clips. Like they're like, we found him at the World Series. And it's just like him in the stands.
Well, he has a life.
And then, dude, his brother, it's the best part. His brother's just on the news like, yeah, you know, my mother was a Cubs fan. I reckon he was a White Sox fan. He couldn't have been a Cubs fan. It's just his brother's just on the news. He's like, yeah, you know, we used to tease him all the time as a kid and say, one day you're going to become the Pope. And now he's the Pope. It's just.
He spent a lot of time in Peru, right?
Yeah, spent a lot of time in Peru and just a normal guy. Like, this is the most relatable Pope we've ever had. I mean, it's only been like, 3 popes in my lifetime, probably in your lifetime as well. But
you're older than me, so.
By a couple years, yeah.
You're 30.
I'm 30.
I'm 26.
Okay, 4 years, so more than a couple.
Well, you're 3 decades old.
That's right.
I'm not.
Not yet. You'll get there.
Yeah, and then you'll basically be 40.
Yeah, I'll be thriving in my life. What do you think you'll be doing? Do you think you'll be married by 30?
I'll be full-time.
Full-time what?
Employed.
Oh, that's a goal.
Listen, my mom told me again on the first one, I'm going to be more positive. So
yeah, I didn't think you were being negative. I was almost
I was
unpositive.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Because we're trashing the script.
Look, your mom is also from a time where, you know, people just didn't complain.
From a time?
I think we need to go back to that.
What are you trying to say about my mom?
I'm trying to say your mom's generation is like...
He's calling my mom old.
They didn't complain. Please. Your mom looks like she's in her 50s. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
She's smiling watching that. We're going to stop talking about my mom.
So anyways, but the Pope being an American is really cool. I think it's going to make him more relatable, especially to younger people because of the memes. Like the Pope probably has an opinion on
how old is
the
he?
Bulls, you know?
Yeah.
He's 69.
Okay.
Which is
Not
young.
70 yet.
Which is young for a Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when they were like, this guy's a young Pope. We don't know if he'll get whatever confirmed or whatever. And I was like, 69. Hey, at least, you know, it's better than our presidency. We seem to keep wanting to elect like old people.
Yeah.
Trump, Biden. At least the Pope is under 70. That's a win, I guess.
Win for the Pope.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. Like he's probably, you think he owned a pair of Jordans? Like you think the Pope had the OG Jordan ones?
That's where your mind goes to when you think about
and like what is he gonna do? You think he like gets like he's gonna have like deep dish pizza like flown into the Vatican?
No, I think once you become the Pope, it's a very minimalist lifestyle.
No, I get that, but he's also from Chicago. He's a Chicago guy.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna be flown in.
I don't know.
Deep dish pizza.
All I know is the Pope has probably heard Chief Keef, which is insane. Like no Pope in the history of popes has ever listened to Chief Keef except for this Pope.
Okay,
and I think he's a fan. I think Pope Leo like might listen to Chief Keef every now and then and be like, you know what? This is hype. Like when his walkout, before he went out. You think he had like headphones on?
Yeah, probably not.
Listening to Finito.
Definitely not.
But anyways, the memes have been great. Speaking of memes, my TikTok has recently turned into Louisiana talk.
I want to learn the dance.
Yeah, so that I don't even know what it is. I don't even remember what it's called. Please don't do the dance.
I'm just gonna pull it up because there's this guy that I think I'm comparable to dancing wise that was doing it.
Don't let Georgia find a dance, y'all. Georgia went viral in high school for doing the juju on the beat, and now every party she's at, it's like her party trick.
And I will go all out.
Our mutual friend Anna, who is a part of the podcast helping us, is here shaking her head. Yes, because that's what Georgia does. She will.
Juju on that beat. Slide. Drop.
And I mean, bro, she feels every move. I mean, it's like
I hit the beats. Okay,
but
I have rhythm.
But yeah, this Louisiana talk thing has been crazy. Like I keep getting all these like kids doing this like I don't even know what it is, yo. Like I'm sorry, Louisiana people, y'all can
Louisiana jig. That's
Louisiana
what
jig. Is that really what it's called, bro? And it's insane. Like how lit. It just makes me remember all the like Louisiana is the most lit state in the country. Like
I don't think so.
100%, bro. You got such a blend of cultures. You got like the Cajun cultures and then like everything combined from like France, Spain, English, like all this stuff that comes together.
I'd argue like Nebraska's up there.
Stop playing, bro. Go husk some corn while you're with it.
He always thinks that I've husked corn.
You're from Nebraska.
That doesn't mean I
What did you do in the summers?
Corn.
You husked corn.
I didn't husk corn.
That's
I worked
what you
at
do in
Champ
Nebraska.
Sports.
And then you went home and then you took a break and you went and husked corn. I mean, listen, you can't be, what's the word? I'm embarrassed. I'm
very proud of my state, but I don't husk corn.
You had humble beginnings. You had to husk corn to save up for a new bike in the summer. And listen, but back to Louisiana.
Okay, back to Louisiana and the jig.
Like, you had New Orleans, obviously, but then you got Baton Rouge. You have Lafayette. Like you have all these cities that are just lit all the time. Like anytime I go any part of Louisiana, you ever been tailgating at LSU?
I've been to Death Valley. And I felt as a Georgia fan, you do not feel welcome.
Game time, so here's the thing about going to LSU, okay? And this ties into Louisiana just being lit. Their tailgates are parties for everybody. Opposing fans, home fans, it does not matter. Okay, so I went down for Ole Miss LSU a couple times, and before the game, they were the nicest people. I mean, these Cajuns like took us into their tent. We ate
Cajuns.
Gumbo. We had all kinds of. I mean, they were the most incredible and hospitable people. And then they told us, they were like, "Now, when the game kicks off, you better make sure we don't see you."
Yes.
And they weren't joking. Okay, but man, like the music, they had live music at their little tailgate area. And I'm from Ole Miss, so we're a little snobby when it comes to tailgating because we have the #1 tailgate, situation in the country at the Grove. But so, I'm always like a little apprehensive when I go to other places and people are like, "Oh, it's really good tailgating." I'm like, sure it is. LSU, though, they turned up. Like, they got lit. And then,
I will say they have good food.
The food, the drinks.
Crawfish, but they keep like the heads on it. That freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, you twist it off, you suck the head. What are you talking about? See, that's how you know you're from Nebraska. You can claim, you could try to be like, my name's Georgia, my family. Nah, dude, you're from Nebraska. If twisting off
and sucking the head.
That's what you do.
Pause.
That's what you do, fam. You never done a crawfish boil with?
I've looked at it and I said, I'm not eating it.
You got to have potatoes. You got to have corn in there.
Taters.
Yeah, you got to have the
I'll eat some
crawdads.
corn.
You got to have the crawdads with the head on it.
Corn.
I bet you will eat some corn. But if y'all haven't checked out this like Louisiana jig situation, or if you have any doubts about Louisiana being the littest state in the union, I would do some research.
I could give them like a sample of what they would see.
I would go against that. I would truthfully go against that. I don't think that's a great idea.
Whatever.
But
can you dance?
No, I can't dance. I'm a terrible dancer.
You got a little rhythm though.
I got nothing.
You can catch a beat.
Nope.
Really?
The beat be trying to catch me, and it looks like I'm running from it. That's me dancing. I look like I am not trying to catch the beat.
So wait, okay, we're just gonna do a little
Butterfingers on the beat.
You're at a club, you're in a section. What kind of guy? Like, you're sitting in the section. What are you doing in the section?
In the section, first of all, I don't really frequent clubs and go to sections. Okay, Georgia, I'm not really living the high life like you.
Okay, no, I don't know, but I'm saying if you're out, 30, they have sections in 30. You're sitting there. What are you doing?
Yeah, what am I doing? I probably got my drink in my hand. I'm, you know that old 3-6 Mafia song, Side to Side. You know what I'm talking about? That might be before your time.
I think that might be a little before me.
Basically, I just, kind of sit there, scoping the situation, kind of just,
Do you have sunglasses on?
Nah, I try not to do that. Occasionally now, like I know when I was in Vegas 2 years ago, I was rocking the sunglasses at the club. I think it depends on the situation. You said you just
go side to side?
I just go kind of side to side. You know what I mean? Yeah, but see, you know me, I'm a yapper. I mean,
you're yapping in a section?
Bro, it's not just me. People find me. It's like other yappers find me. Why do you think we became friends?
But you can't have
I feel like yappers
you
find me.
You can't have conversations in the club.
You can sometimes. It depends.
Well,
yeah, but
you're talking about the Pope?
Shoot.
Bro, you think Pope Leo was listening to this?
It's like, oh man, yeah, Pope loves Sosa, bro. The Pope loves Sosa. You're just yelling. No, but
okay, so
I'm not dancing. I've never been a dancer.
And you're drinking.
Now I can occasionally. I can be swayed, into dancing occasionally, but it's just never good. I mean, it's fun to laugh at. This is why like getting old is good for me. Like, you're like, hey, you're 3 decades. I'm like, yeah, I'm 3 decades. Now I get to like make excuses for things I've always been bad at. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't go.
You guys are running a marathon. Sorry, bro. My joints, 30, bro.
He played in one soccer match for Atlanta United, the media match, and he complained for days. And bro, I got to take some Advil. I hurt.
That's also because I have been a slob the last few months. I've not been to the gym. I have not done any cardio.
That's on you.
Did you just point at my stomach and then go, yeah? Bruh, I got leprechauns trying to roast me today, bro.
Stop calling me that. This is from Aritzia. It's cute.
You think, man, I know you saw Sinners recently. I bet you got down for that one song. The leprechaun, the Irish guy. You probably got down to that. That was a lit song.
Did you like the Sinners movie?
I loved it. I can't get over the Sinners soundtrack. It's so good.
Sammy can really sing.
Yeah, he is phenomenal. That was kind of scary though. They were talking about like how some people were so good at music that they can bring like negative, evil spirits out and stuff. And I grew up in Mississippi, and you hear about like Clarksdale, which is where the blues started, and the Crossroads where I'm forgetting his name, please roast me in the comments. But blues artists sold his soul to the devil in order to achieve fame and success. And so you go visit the Crossroads or whatever. I never actually went to the Crossroads and took pictures because it freaks me out too much.
I would love to see. I like stuff like that.
I just can't get down with the demonic stuff or the
I don't like demonic stuff, but the stuff like that, like the insane asylum that is close to where we worked. I've always wanted to go. But now it's like a set for Stranger Things was filmed there.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Like the town I grew up in Mississippi, in Oxford, there was an insane asylum in a town called Sardis.
Yeah. And I'd love to go.
In college, my buddies went. They were like, dude, let's just break in at night. And I'm like,
that's a little creepy.
See, this is why stuff happens.
Yeah.
This is how people get possessed right here.
Right. Okay? Have you ever played the Ouija board?
Heck no.
I did it when I was younger. And
tell us your Ouija board story, because this is actually
creepy.
Sometimes I think about it and it freaks me out. And she only told me about the story like a year ago.
Okay, let's put the storyteller hat on. So this was back when I was in Nebraska, not shucking corn, and I had a group of high school
Husking
friends.
corn, that's right.
My mom, she didn't really I'm not going to say his name, but he was kind of like the ringleader. He was older than us. He worked at a haunted house, and he was like, yo.
An older man who was called the ringleader who worked at a haunted house. Cheryl, I'm with you, girl.
He was still in high school, okay? He's not like...
What in the world?
He's not 3 decades old.
What are you kids doing?
Anyways, so he was like, yo, I have a Ouija board. Let's play. Keep in mind, it's not like from Target, like you rip off the plastic. It was like a wooden board. It had rocks. It was legit.
George's family brought it from Ireland.
I don't know. Okay, stop. I'm telling a story. That's rude. Anyways, so we were at one of my friends. We were in her basement, and there were too many of us. So it was me and my best friend. We were off to the side, and there was 3 people playing. And I didn't believe this. I thought the guy was moving it himself. I was like, I don't buy it. So I got a piece of paper and I was like, okay, if this thing is legit, it'll spell out the word that I have written. And my best friend watched me. I wrote gibberish, crumpled up the piece of paper, threw it like it was the washing machine was down there, put it in the dryer. All of a sudden the board starts going to random letters. And I look at my friend and I said, wait, I go get the piece of paper. It literally was going to the letters that I wrote down. So at this point, like, we're freaked out. We're like, what? Like, I don't know. It's getting weird. So one girl's thinking like she's talking to like her deceased family member. And, you know, everybody's like, wait, I want to turn. So we're switching, whatever. And then all of a sudden it starts going to opposite ends of the board.
No, ma'am.
And one girl gets scared. And so she takes her hand off and everybody knows that you have to say goodbye before or else it can like follow you.
There's
out of the
rules
board.
to talk to demons, y'all.
Okay. Well, anyways, we'll get to that. But strange things have happened to this girl. She almost got hit by a car. Like weird things have happened since then. So we're like, girl, you might need to go get cleansed. Anyways, so that freaks us out. We think that's done and good. Like we never play again. Years later, I am with my friend in California because we were sorority sisters and we're watching this like paranormal activity show. And I'm not going to say the name because it freaks me out, but it was about like this Ouija board and it was about this like demon that pretends to be loved ones to gain your trust, to talk to you. But it's literally like, okay, I'll spell it Z-A-Z-A, which was the opposite ends of the board. I call my best friend. I call her. I haven't talked to her in years. I said, do you remember the name of who we thought we were talking to? She said it. I have chills now. I was like,
and I got bumps all over my arm.
My friend had holy water. I had to sleep with her that night because I was so freaked out. And I called the guy because we thought, oh, maybe he knew about this. He's messing with us. And he swears to this day, he had no idea. And I said, where's that board? He goes, I can't find it. You can't find it. I said, well, you need to find it and burn it. You need to destroy it. Ever since then, I refuse to play the Ouija board. I say my prayers every night, and I don't know. Some people think it's fake, but that happened to me, and to this day, my child will not play that. I don't mess with it.
Yeah, it's not I've never understood how a Ouija board was considered like it's a fun thing. Like parents are buying their kids Ouija. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my dad thinks it's a boatload of crap. I think my mom. I don't know. My mom used to play it.
Anyways, I don't know how it feels sitting next to you. I feel like something's about to.
I said goodbye before I.
So it's funny, like now that we're on haunted stories, like I've always been scared of.
We need a little campfire. We need a little campfire. We're telling ghost stories.
Yeah, that's what it's seeming like, huh? But I've always been like, I've always believed it because I've had like people tell me things that are way too. Like there's no motivation for them to make it up. You have ghost stories that people tell you as a kid, and that's obvious, right? But I've also had like friends, family. Did I tell you about the time I saw an exorcism? Did I tell you about this?
What?
I've never told you about this. Okay, so when I was in Nepal visiting in 2008, so I was born in Nepal, right? Country in Southeast Asia. And I think I was like 12 or something, and we went to visit when I was in the 8th grade. So all the houses in Nepal are kind of built like vertically, so everybody has a roof. Like you can go on your roof, and a lot of people like hang their clothes up there, and there's like solar panels and water heaters and all that. So I'm on the roof, and I just start, or maybe I was on the balcony at this point, and I just start hearing like somebody yelling like bloody hell. Like it sounds like a girl, like just like yelling. And I'm on the balcony. It's on the opposite side of the house. So I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I kind of come downstairs. What the hell? So I come downstairs and I go actually to the front of the house first. And there's these giant walls up in our house at the time in Nepal. And so I couldn't see anything, but I'm hearing like it's like outside of our gates, just in the road, like yelling bloody hell. But you can hear like an older woman, it's like consoling what seems to be her daughter, like, hey, come on, it's okay, we're almost there. And she's she's yelling. I mean, there's clearly a commotion going on. So then I run all the way back upstairs to the roof. And it is literally a girl, probably 13, 14, not too much older than me, like contorting, trying to fight like a woman,
Is she strapped
a man.
to a like chair?
No, they didn't have her strapped. They were just holding on to her. And it was like, I don't know how she didn't dislocate a shoulder or something. I mean, contorting, trying to get away. Seemed like parents and other family members. And so the house in front of ours was a priest. He was a Hindu priest, which I didn't know at the time. So I'm on the roof. I'm like, what is going on right now? And we had like a caretaker at the house. He runs upstairs like as fast as I've never seen this guy run that fast. And he just yanks me and he's like, you have to come with me. You have to come with me. He's like, you cannot watch this. You cannot watch this. And I was like, what is going on? And he was like, that guy's a priest. They're about to perform an exorcism on her. She's possessed. And I just immediately like went cold. Like, you get that cold.
So they were, what was he scared that the spirit was going to jump from her to you?
I guess like that's like the culture or whatever they believe. Like, you're not supposed to watch it unless like you're a family member or a priest or something. And I'm sure it's the same in any culture. But anyways, so I run, like he takes me down, but I keep hearing this like bloody hell. And then it just stops. And it's just kind of silent. I mean, there's like dogs barking and cars and whatever, but like that yelling stops. And so I finally kind of like, me and him both go back up to the roof. And then you just see the family. This is probably 45 an hour later. They're walking her out. She's like in their arms. And the guy had supposedly performed an exorcism.
Was she okay?
I mean, she seemed like she was asleep. Like they were like walking her out, like her parents. And she was like kind of in their arm, like walking with them. So... yeah. Ooh. So I've seen that. My mom has told me stories about like her childhood. She grew up in like a giant farm and just like, her grandmother telling her these crazy stories. My mom like being in the woods and feeling like a presence. And then I had an ex actually whose childhood home was haunted. She would be at home after school and stuff would just start falling off the shelves, like stuff like that. And her parents for the longest time just thought, she was lying. Like, oh, she's just trying to make a joke. Well, one day her mom comes home early and sees it happen. And so she thought that it was her grandfather's ghost because when her grandfather passed away, she said that he came in her dream to talk to her. And and you know who I'm talking about. She's not the type of she's like scared of stuff like that. She wouldn't just be making this up and saying it.
Interesting.
But there's something to it, man. There's like some creepy stuff. I know it's like inexplicable, I guess. And I don't know if some religions can explain it. Maybe they can. And I'm just not well versed in that.
There's good and then there's evil.
Right.
That's in the Bible.
But, they say like sometimes negative things happen and they sort of like those moments get frozen in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of like my place of employment, there's like they did a whole story about potentially the building being haunted.
That's a whole can of worms, Sudu. We'll talk about
which
30 minutes for.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely.
We're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
But anyway, Sinners, great movie.
Yeah, I don't know how we got there. That's not the angle I wanted to take, but yeah. Well, we don't want to have any spoilers. Anna hasn't seen it yet, so
Anna definitely needs to see it because I wanted to talk about this in front of Anna the other day at dinner, and I couldn't. Anna, please go see it.
Come on,
she's gonna go tomorrow. We're gonna bully her into seeing.
You get it's like what, $5 tickets?
Yeah, shout out Ryan Kugler, bro. We got you. About to get you another movie sale right here.
It's the last week.
Is it
to see it in IMAX? I think.
Really? Yeah. I know a lot of people that want to go see it. They're just like, I'll just wait for it to come on like Max. And I'm like, no, go see it in theaters. Because the music, like you need a good sound system.
Music, yes.
So obviously we are sports people. We should probably talk a little sports. What I wanted to talk about is
Rebs.
So last week we talked about Georgia's newest quarterback commit, Jared Curtis. And, I guess some of my Ole Miss people felt like they weren't getting enough love. But basically, right after we recorded, Ole Miss's quarterback next year, Austin Simmons. This kid is a whiz. This kid is a prodigy.
Wizard.
Graduated high school, I believe, by his sophomore or junior year.
Sophomore.
Sophomore year, right? Had to reclassify. He got to Ole Miss when he was had just turned 17.
He couldn't drive yet.
No, he couldn't drive. So he was 16 or 17 when he got to Ole Miss. And then last week, at the age of 19 years old, this kid got his undergrad. He got his bachelor's degree. I want to read 2 years.
Literally. So I was reading this CBS article about him.
Y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out for the Rebs because there's a lot of Jackson Dart talk and obviously him going to the league and there's all these high expectations for him and he's the best quarterback of this class and all this stuff. But I think the better Ole Miss quarterback from last year is on the roster right now. And it's Austin Simmons. This kid throws an incredible baseball as well. He's a lefty, gave up baseball. He was on the Ole Miss baseball team to focus strictly on football, and now he's a starting quarterback at Ole Miss. You being a Georgia fan, you remember that Georgia game. Jackson Dart gets hurt. Austin Simmons comes in.
Yeah.
Every Georgia fan's like, oh, okay, cool. We got this. And
he held his own.
Torches Kirby Smart's secondary.
Well, okay, two things I want to really unpack here. I'm going to read that. This is from CBS Sports. Okay, so the quarterback... Austin Simmons trained with NFL players when he was 12. Mm-hmm. Completed his high school coursework with a jaw-dropping 5.34 GPA.
AP classes. That's weighted, baby.
What was your GPA leaving high school?
My weighted GPA was a 4.0. My unweighted, so that's not counting the AP credits, was a 3.85, I think.
Okay, so that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big like extracurricular kid in high school. Like I was never that great at math and science, which is funny because I'm Asian and everybody just expected me to like.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but
well, I mean that's just how it was. Like the town I grew up in, like we had so many brilliant kids and a large Asian population in my high school because of the University of Mississippi being there, right? So a lot of people's parents worked there, and dude, these kids were so smart. Like some of my friends in high school, these kids went to Princeton, Yale, Stanford, Harvard, Cornell, like any Ivy League you can think of, and the ones that chose to go to Ole Miss got paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, because they were so smart.
And so I would get lumped in with them, except like I just was really good at talking and good at like English and reading and history and stuff like that. So I would always get looped in with them. But my math and science scores weren't the best.
Well,
but
that's why we're journalists.
I was senior class president and I did extracurricular. I did a lot of extracurricular.
You give me pres
journalism.
vibes.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Austin Simmons.
Sorry, didn't mean to brag on myself there.
Okay, go ahead, pop off. Okay, so his dad said, quote, "I don't give them time off. I don't give them any exits. We go to school on Christmas. I don't care about Christmas. I don't care about Easter. I don't care about none of that. We don't miss days." How do you feel about that? I respect the hustle, but
honestly, like there's something to my parents are the coolest parents in the world. Like I had rules. They were certainly strict compared to maybe some of my other friends. But as far as just being chill and let me do what I want, my parents were always like the best at. But I also think like I might have been coddled a little bit. And you being an only child, you could probably relate to that. I was the youngest.
I just caught a stray.
You were certainly coddled because I've seen Georgia around her parents, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But sometimes I feel like
my mom might not like you after this episode.
Well, we know your mom loves you unconditionally, and she's probably hard on you at times, which I appreciate, Cheryl, because you need to do that. But like, I do feel like I wish I had a little more tough love as a kid because there's like certain adversities I faced in life that I just wasn't prepared for. And so when I hear that about like Austin Simmons' dad, I look at it in this respect, right? If your kid is absolutely miserable and just like in a terrible place and it's going to cause problems down the road, which I guess you can't always tell, but you can sort of tell the kids that, then I don't think that's right. But like if your kid responds to it the way Austin Simmons has, clearly, then I don't think there's anything wrong for it. And I think you almost thank your parents down the road. Like, you know, Shannon Sharp, right? Shannon Sharp always talks about how hard his grandmother was on him and the impact it had on him to kind of stay focused and all this kind of stuff. There's tons of successful people whose parents were maybe not the best to them. Now, there's a difference between abuse and there's a difference between tough love and discipline.
For sure.
And I tend to kind of, the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, I think I'm going to kind of be on the side of discipline. Maybe not as much tough love, but certainly.
Well, I think you need two, right? I feel like my mom was the more stern one and my dad was the more like when dad came home, I was like, oh, dad's home. Like you need somebody that's going to give you the tough love. And then you need someone that's more like not lenient, but they're going to balance out the more stricter parent.
Yeah.
You don't need two like type A, like strict, because then they're going to rebel and just be crazy.
Yeah.
You need a happy medium.
Well, so like you know, I was listening to Paolo Banchero, the obviously the basketball player, and you know they were talking about, I forgot what podcast this is on. They were talking about his time at Duke and how he just wasn't responding to coaching at first, and Coach K was at his wit's end, and so he called Paolo's mom to be like, hey.
What do I do?
I can't get through to this kid, you know, blah, 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 whatever. You know, I'm about to rip into him. I just let you know first. And apparently she was like, good. And she's like, what you need to do is you need to rip into him and you need to send him home from the day. Not let him stay in the facility, any of that. Send him home. That is the only way it'll get to him. Like you need, and whatever. And she gave him her full blessings to do that. And like, I love that because I
respect he called his mom.
Yeah. Coach K is different. That's why he's one of the GOATs. But he basically called her to like he's probably going to call you to tell you about the ass chewing he's about to get. And let me tell you, his mom was like, I'm on board. So I love that. So getting it back to Austin Simmons, obviously his dad has been a big influence. But my point is, Georgia, you know, when you lose a quarterback that's a first-round draft pick, usually it's hard to just replace him. I think in Ole Miss's case, Austin Simmons is going to be better by a large margin. I think his ceiling is way higher. I mean, this guy is an incredible athlete, but more than anything, the intelligence that he's shown by graduating college at 19.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to major in other stuff, but
Think about, like, he has older teammates, yet he's already graduated.
Graduated. Like we've got a whiz-kid down in Oxford that's playing quarterback, and there was another whiz-kid that was an elite quarterback back in the day. You'd know all about him. You're a leprechaun. His name was Andrew Luck.
Can you stop? He's made like 5 leprechaun.
You knew when you put on the green fit today.
I said I like this, and no, actually in my head I said Sudu's going to say something.
Mate, it's cool. It's a good fit. I do love it, and you got your little A6s on. It's a good fit. And peep the details. Can you show them your chain? Georgia.
Got the G
for Georgia.
Got some ASICs.
Anyways, but yeah, so I'm really excited to see Austin Simmons play some football.
Would you put him in your top 3 for SEC quarterbacks next year?
I mean, we've only seen him play one drive against like a team of Georgia's caliber, but based on that, this is going to be hot take city here. But
you take him over Gunner.
Gunner stock, yes, I do. I think Austin Simmons' ceiling is way higher.
Okay, that's a hot take. Georgia fans gonna come for you in the comments.
I think he's just probably, honestly, just a better arm than Gunner. I mean, and the size, everything about this kid. But this is going to be a hot take right here. Ole Miss has never had a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, they've gotten pretty close with Eli Manning, but couldn't get it. But I think this is Ole Miss's best shot since Eli to win a Heisman is going to be this kid right here, Austin Simmons.
Interesting.
I'm very hard on Ole Miss quarterbacks. Like, my friends know how I feel about Jackson Dart. Everybody is over the moon about him, and I still am kind of like, he needs to prove himself to me because I'm a Giants fan as well. So now he's coming from my college team where I certainly had some issues with the way he played in big games to now my NFL franchise. And I'm not all the way bought in on this guy yet, right? For a multitude of reasons. I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
Austin Simmons, though, I would if you told me in 2 years the Giants were going to get this kid, I'd be over the moon about it.
And only really seeing that one long drive from him. And that generates so much excitement.
I've seen him play a little, he's played some like teams here and there's some like garbage time. I've seen him throw a baseball. Like, everything about this kid to me yells elite quarterback.
I feel like but in the offseason, there's a lot to be excited about. So
No doubt. And even for if you're a Georgia fan, right? Like, Georgia is about to probably get the number 1 kid in the country as well. They've been cleaning up on the recruiting trail, obviously.
Go Dogs.
Yeah.
Can I get a Go Dogs?
Yeah. Go Dogs? Question mark?
No, it's Go Dogs.
I've never said Go Dogs straight up. The show I do for my employer, at the end of every episode, I look at my co-host and it's a UGA show. So I don't.
You don't say it.
I don't ever personally say. Well, I'm a
journalist.
You said
it with me that one time.
I'm a journalist.
We said Go Dogs.
Well, yeah, like if I'm like out or something, where I yell out Roll Tide all the time.
Yeah, which really annoys me.
But that was like me and my friends used to do that to like make it was almost like a joke. Like you do something kind of silly or stupid, and then you would just yell Roll Tide.
That's my Go Dogs. Like literally something bad happens, Go Dogs.
But it started out as like you're making fun of them by like doing something dumb and yelling Roll Tide. It's like no regrets type of thing, and then it just became like a kind of funny thing where someone will say something and I'm just like, well, it's like it is what it is, or ball out.
That is my Go Dogs.
Or like ball is life, or ball up top. I'll just be like, well, Roll Tide.
Something great happens, Go Dogs. I get cheated on, Go Dogs.
Okay, interesting. Can you show them your lip tat, by the way?
We didn't have to go there.
You got a lip tat. Does it say Go Dogs?
No, my parents are watching.
Oh, they don't know about this.
My mom. No, my dad. Okay. I got it in Vegas. I told my dad in the car ride home.
It's a legitimate lip tattoo. I could not believe it. I thought it was a.
It's not Go Dogs. I'm sorry.
I thought it was one of those I thought it was one of those like gumball machine tattoo type things that she had gotten
we were
one
in
day.
Vegas, and like literally this one girl. So it was me and a group of girls that got lip tattoos. She's since tried to get it touched up here in Georgia, and everyone tells her no. Because they literally wrote in Sharpie and he just went in and Go Dogs. That's the only tattoo I have.
You had a man put a Sharpie on your lip, the inside of your mouth?
He wrote in Sharpie Go Dogs then tattooed over it Go Dogs. So my dad picks me up from the airport. I can't hold water. So I said, Dad, I have something to tell you. I got a tattoo on my lip.
What was Randall's response?
He laughs. He goes, "You're so funny." I said, "No, I'm serious."
Lord.
And he kind of gets quiet. He goes, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Do you want to see it?" He goes, "Oh." He just gets, it's like the disappointment. He said, just show me. So I show him.
His only child.
He said, just don't tell your mother. So I finally show her, I feel like years later, and she got so mad. She goes, Randall, you knew about this and you didn't say anything? I said, well, Mom, it's not going anywhere. It's permanent. Actually, it might fade in like 5 years.
I could see it fading since it's in that. But
like, that's kind of like.
Did it not hurt? Inside of your lip, dude?
No. And that's like, I'm like, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tatted.
Did they throw?
I'm tatted.
That's the only tat. Chill out, bro.
I'm tatted.
Dude, did they numb the inside of your lip?
No. I had to hold my lip like this as he just went in.
Nah, that's crazy. That is diabolical right there.
It's a cool leprechaun.
I didn't believe her though. Like she told me a year ago, and I thought she had just gone to some gumball machine or something and gotten a Go Dogs tattoo.
It's real. Sometimes I forget about No, but the next day actually, I was like, why is my lip hurt? And then I went in the mirror and I looked and I was like, oh my gosh. I kind of forgot.
Sounds like some libations were involved to cause you to do that.
Not at all.
But anyways, anything else on your mind, George? What you got to say?
We have to do we should do our high-low buffalo.
High-low buffalo. All right, we'll do our high-low buffalo. I guess we got to do the past week since today is a Monday.
Yes, we're filming on a Monday.
Okay, so high-low buffalo, for those who don't know, is your high of the week, your low of the week, and a buffalo is something that was unexpected that happened. I got to give a shout out to my friend Jordan for this and my girlfriend Madison. They were the ones who showed me the high-low buffalo life. We used to do every Monday, we'd do a Monday fun day. We'd go out on a Monday because my schedule would align that way. And we would do something. And while we were out doing whatever we were doing, we would do high-low buffalo at the table. Got Georgia in on it. Now she
I do it with
loves
my friends. I do it with Anna and I do it with all my friends.
Anna, thoughts on high-low buffalo?
It's great.
You like it. Yeah. Anna likes it too. So
it's a good check-in with your friends.
Yeah. So I got to give a shout out to Jordan on this one. For introducing this, but I'll let you go first because I need to think about what happened last week.
Okay. My high was, I don't want to give anything away, but it was a group of us, Anna, Sudu, his girlfriend, and we have a cool new location coming up for our podcast, and the hospitality that we were shown was so
the hostility we were shown.
Hostility. It was just a solid night. Like that was very wholesome. So I feel like that was my high.
Shout out Brandon. Yeah. Our next episode, we got a cool location. We got
a cool thing cooking up. My low, my mom told me to be positive, but still jobless. Okay.
That's a low.
It's real. Still jobless, still on the hunt. Updates to come. And then my buffalo, something unexpected. Probably that I got to go to Athens she's like a little sister to me for graduation, but I felt really out of place there. I felt really old. Somebody had said like, he was next to me. We were waiting on
just
like
wait
in
like
Polly's.
4 more years and see how you feel.
Like, I don't know. He made me laugh. So I was like, oh, he was like, yeah, I graduated. Like, I'm going to grad school. I was like, oh, how old are you? He was like 23. I was like, I'm 26. He's like, oh, whoa. I was like, what? Pause. I was like, you're acting like I'm 30. No offense. But yeah, I just felt old in Athens. But yeah, that was my buffaloes. That was unexpected, but it was fun to be there and support her and see the old stomping grounds.
Cool.
Cool. That's not a supportive friend.
I think my high certainly was the dinner as well. But just because Brandon had been telling me for months, like, bro, you got to come check out my new place. And so just getting to go check it out, you're right. Just when you see like somebody, a friend like succeeding or like starting something new and is successful, makes you happy. So yeah, it was good to see that. And my low, I think, was last Saturday. I had to cover a track and field event, and it was just pouring down rain. Mm-hmm. It was honestly really cold outside after being just warm. And this they just made these kids run a state track and field meet in the pouring rain. Like, what are we doing? That clearly affects their speed and how far. And I was shocked that like nobody fell or anything like that because it was drained. Like, yeah,
Saturday was
drenched rather on that track. But that just wasn't fun. I just did not have fun doing that. And I love my job, but that was one of those like where you're just like, I can't wait to get this day over with kind of, because everything just wet,
Yeah.
I had to buy a rain jacket and a hoodie on the way to this event because I just wasn't prepared for it to be cold. Like I checked the weather.
It was supposed to be
It was supposed to be in the mid 60s, and it said like a little rain in the forecast, but nothing like that. So something changes overnight.
It was like 90% on Saturday. So I don't know what weather app you checked.
Yeah. So on Friday night, don't do that. You know, I stay prepared when it comes to the weather. So that was not fun. The Buffalo, I think, was just the reception for the pod. I think I mentioned on the last one. I've done, this is probably like 9 or 10 podcasts. You know, for like, I had a podcast when I was in the 9th grade, before they were even big. So I've done it at the lowest of levels. I worked for a company called V Sporto. We used to do a lot of podcasts.
So you're happy we're doing this?
It's a good pod, but
come here.
You know, it's like,
come here.
It's a saturated market.
Come here.
And
don't fight it. There we go.
Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody, you know, like, why are we more interesting than somebody else? So I never have high expectations going into podcasts. It's just fun. I'm doing this.
You bully me
because
That's
it's
why.
fun. It's fun to sit here with my friend in my friend's store, you know, to do this. And I never expect too much out of it. But my Buffalo was the fact that, and honestly, just off the first episode, was one of like the best performing podcasts I've done outside of the ones that I've been involved with, like an actual company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like something of my own doing this early. I think that was really good. So that was my Buffalo.
That's wholesome.
Yeah. Got any parting words for the people before we go?
Remember, that's where you say it.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. That was my mic
drop. So you
did
not have anything to say. Anyways, be well, everybody. And remember, it's okay to trash the script.